And we are live and we are direct. I'm back. Coming back with the heat, the consistency. And today we are going to do Premier League predictions, a tail list. So I have a tail list. Let me show you guys. I have a tail list right here. And we will be ranking the teams in the order that I think they're gonna place this season. And for the tail list, I have the relegation zone. I'm gonna start from 20th all the way down to the title contenders 1 and 2. I'll let you guys know who I think will go on to win the title this season. But we're gonna start from the relegation teams, and that's 18 to 20th. The teams in the danger zone, the teams that I think would flirt with relegation and will be in some trouble as the season goes on. Mid-table. Well, talking about mid-table, I gotta change the color to a more ominous color. Maybe like you know, like one of these oranges. Yeah, it's not green. You know what I'm saying? So we have mid-table from 8th to 14th. Those teams are in a good region, would do pretty okay in the season. Some of them would be on the higher spectrum, some of them on the lower spectrum. Then we have the Conference League that has one section for itself, and only one team could go into the Conference League section there. And the Big Six doesn't want to go in the Conference League. So if one of the more progressive teams get into that Conference League, it looks good. It really looks good. Europa League, 5th and 6th. And then we have the Champions League spots from 2 to 4. So that's two, pardon me, that's from actually 3 to 4. So I got to make a correction there. Definitely got to make a correction right there. And that's 3 to 4. I don't know why I have 2 to 4 there, but that's from 3 to 4. And Contenders 1 and 2. So big up to everybody in the live stream right about now, guys. Make sure you participate. Let me know who you think will be relegated and so on and so forth. So big up to everybody once again. And without further ado, guys, we are going to get into this. Okay. So if you're watching the replay, thank you very much for tuning in. And also let me know your thoughts. This was not easy. Let me just put it out there. It wasn't easy coming up with this list. I put it together while I was at work today, and I'm just going on gut feeling, the way, I just think the table is going to look at the end of the season. I'm not going to say I'm going to be 100% right, but I think I'll get some of them spot on, but some of these I'll get dead wrong. And I always say, if my predictions are wrong, it means that we're having a very good season and teams are going to be surprising me and so on and so forth. So, guys, we are going to start with the relegation candidates. Well, in today's video, I won't be talking transfers. I won't be going off topic and, going into these other things, other topics. We're talking the Premier League predictions, the table from 20th to 1. So, please, people in the comments, don't ask me questions about Cucurella and all that kind of stuff, because that's irrelevant right now. We will discuss these things as in the video as well, little transfers and all of that, but we don't want to, go down any rabbit holes, if you understand what I'm saying. So in the relegation places, guys, the teams are right below here. I have all the teams there, if you could see. And in the relegation places, 20th, guys, it wasn't easy. I'm telling you, these are some good teams. Even the teams that got promoted, they're some good teams. But in 20th place, guys, I have a feeling it's going to be Bournemouth. When I look at the Bournemouth roster, it looks very similar to the team that was last in the Premier League. And that team, was flirting with relegation for some time, and they finally did get relegated. And you see the same bunch of guys coming back. They're still looking to bolster their squad. The transfer window is still open, but just looking around the team, I see guys who have not proven themselves in the Premier League when they had the opportunity to. And I think this time around, it's going to be a struggle for Scott Parker and his boys. And when it comes to Scott Parker, I don't think he is very good tactically. And when the pressure is on, he tends to fold. You see what I'm saying? he tend to fold. He fold his arms and he has this really quizzical look on his face like he doesn't even know what to do. So I'm going to go with Bournemouth at 20th. Guys, let me know your predictions in the chat as well. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to keep it moving. I don't want this to be a 2 hour long prediction video. I want to keep it as short as possible. So in 19th place, guys, this one might come as a surprise to a lot of you guys, but in 19th, I'm going to go with Brentford. Brentford survived the drop in their first season in the Premier League last season. And I think they've survived on the strength of Christian Eriksen signing after in the January transfer window as a free agent after getting the clearance to play again after his heart stopped at Euro 2020. It was a really, really sad situation, but it was really, really nice to see Christian Eriksen rise again and help Brentford last season. But he has now moved on to Manchester United, where he's going to look to help the Red Devils challenge for the title once again. So Brentford, I think, started the season very well, but the form petered away so badly that they were relegation threatened, and it was Christian Eriksen that ended up saving Brentford FC. So I think Brentford are going down. Last season, they ended up finish 13th with 46 points. But as I said, it was Christian Eriksen who saved the day, and he's no longer there. So I think they're going to be in some trouble. So Thomas Frank, hard luck, but I think you're going to get relegated. So in 18th place, this one would also come as another surprise. Guys, look, I don't know how many people have Bournemouth, Brentford, and this other team in the 3 teams that they're gonna they're gonna relegate this season, because I haven't watched any prediction videos as yet. But the team I think's gonna go down this season is Southampton. Because if you guys look at the Premier League table, Southampton have been struggling in 4 of the last 5 Premier League seasons. 4 out of 5, they've been on the brink of going down. And I don't know how they manage to stay up, but they do. But I think this would be the season where they're finally going to get pushed over the edge. When you look at the team, you look at the youngsters that they're bringing in, I just don't think the signings that they're making are what they actually need. I think you need a mixture of some impact players and some young prospects to get the job done. So I think Southampton are going to struggle this season under Hasenhüttl once again, and they are going to get relegated to the championship. Look, it's left to be seen. I don't want to see Southampton go down, but it's a team that always sell their better players. And I think this time around, it's finally going to catch up to them. So the teams I'm going to relegate are Southampton FC, Brentford, and Bournemouth, which means that 2 out of the 3 teams promoted to this season's Premier League, I think, are going to stay up. And those teams are Fulham and Nottingham Forest. That's a big call. That's a really, really big call. So I hope these teams don't let me down. And in terms of the danger zone, 15th to 17th, the teams that I think are going to be flirting with relegation as the season progresses, but will just barely survive. Let us start with 17th. And I think that team is going to be Fulham FC. And I think Marco Silva is not a bad manager at all. And I think the signings that they're making would just help them to survive this Premier League season. Over the years, they have made a lot of big, like they've spent a lot of money. But when you look around their team this time around, they brought in Bernd Leno from Arsenal, who's a quality goalkeeper, just didn't work out too well at Arsenal. But when you look around their team, the signing of João Paulinho, you have Andreas Pereira from Man United, Mano Salomon from Shakhtar Donetsk, the Israeli international, is a quality player. And you just look around. Once I think Alexander Mitrovic gets an opportunity to play this season and to just show what he's capable of doing, I think Fulham will just barely survive. But you got to give those players in the championship the opportunity to do their thing in the Premier League and not, have the prolific players like Mitrovic on the bench. So look, short and sweet. I think FC Fulham's gonna stay up. They're a yo-yo club. They come up, they go down. They come up, they go down. But I think this time around they're gonna survive and play consecutive Premier League season for the first time in a while. Coming in 16th, guys, a team I think also gonna flirt with relegation. A team that was in a lot of trouble last season, sacked their legendary manager Marcelo Bielsa, and I think that team's going to be Leeds United FC. And with Jesse March now in charge, you could see there's a lot of injuries in the squad right about now. He's brought in players that he like, American Tyler Adams and Brendan Aronson, Rasmus Christensen, players that he worked with before, players that he feel like he can trust. But when you look around the Leeds United team, they need a player that's going to put their hand up and just, play that Rafinha role, because Rafinha is gone. Calvin Phillips is gone. So I think with those players absent, it's going to actually affect Leeds United this season, but not enough to relegate them, but to have them in trouble for some periods throughout the season. So I'm going to go for them to survive and finish in 16th position. Okay, guys, don't forget to share your predictions in the comments and in the chat. We'll definitely appreciate that. And I know you guys can't wait to see who I have winning the title. We got a long way to go. We got somewhere to go. We've got 5 teams out of the way so far. And I don't know if you guys agree or not, but look, it was not easy coming up with this list. Just want to put it out there. Let me reiterate. It's very, very difficult to relegate these teams, and it's difficult to say, okay, such and such teams are not going to do well. But you got to make the hard calls, and you can't be afraid to do so. Look, coming in 15th, and I'm going to go for Brighton and Hove Albion, who enjoyed their best season last year. But I think, with the sale of a few prominent players, Yves Bissouma and Mark Cucurella now moving to Chelsea, who knows who else might leave, but the window's still open. They could bolster their team as well. But I just think, this is a team that has a lot of potential, but just does not fulfill its potential. Like last season, they were in the top 6 for a very, very long time, but fell out. But they did manage to finish at their highest ever ranking in 9th with 51 points. So Graham Potter, I think they could have done a lot better. Maybe pull out that Europa Conference League spot. But this season, even though I don't think they're going to get relegated, they're going to go through some periods where we're going to ask that question. And I'm going to go for them to finish in 15th position this season. And I think that's fair. I think it's fair. They're a very, very decent outfit. They could finish higher, but I'm just going to go for Brighton to finish 15th. At least they're going to be in the Premier League for yet another season. And their team, since they got promoted from the Championship in the 17-18 season, they have not been relegated. So, look, let's get into the mid-table. 14th to 8th. And the team that I think is going to come in 14th is a team that struggled a lot last season and almost got relegated. They finished 16th last season, and that team is Everton. They sold arguably their best player, Richarlison, and I think they will struggle again this season for momentum and for form and consistency, but they will still scrape out a respectable 14th place finish under Frank Lampard, in my opinion. They've been making a few signings: Dwight McNeil, James Tarkowski. That's they rated. It seems as if they're rating Burnley, right? Burnley are actually getting rated as of late. You see, Maxwell Cornet just moved to West Ham. They also brought in Ruben Vinagre, and I still think they need to make a few more signings because injury will be a problem for Everton again this season. And you've already seen a few players on the injury list, some very, very key players. And I think they need to make a few more signings if they want to actually challenge for maybe a European place. But I expect an improved performance from Everton this season. And you look at guys like Anthony Gordon. They will look to players like him for inspiration. So I'm going to go for Everton on the Lampard to finish in 14th position this season. What are you guys saying in the chat? How's everybody feeling, guys? Make sure you smash a thumbs up button for this tailless prediction that I'm doing live right now, dealing with all the pressure. Everybody's watching. And if you're watching the replay, guys, don't forget to do the same. Comment and hit that thumbs up button. Do subscribe if you're new. We're going to keep it moving, and we're going to get into that 13th place team. And 13th is where I choose to put the new boys, Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest, who got promoted to the Premier League for the first time in 20 plus years. And look, from the signings they have been making, I think Nottingham Forest could do something similar to what Brentford and Sheffield United have done recently after getting promoted. The signing of Dean Henderson, goalkeepers as well, like Wayne Hennessy. That's some quality. Musa Niakate coming in, highly rated centre back there from Mainz. And if you go down, a lot of talent brought into the team. A lot of signings, a lot of money spent, and a standout player that they signed is Jesse Lingard. I think once things get, clicking for Nottingham Forest and you have players like Lingard involved, he could be very prolific like he was at West Ham United when just given the license to do his thing. And a player that you got to keep a very, very close eye on this season is the very talented Brennan Johnson. Let's see how he's going to transition from Championship to the Premier League. There's a lot of bits and pieces players in the team, but still, I think they've made enough signings and they have, quality and experienced players like Steve Cook within their setup. Harry Harriata, I don't know if he's going to stick around with the squad, but, Sam Surridge is another very, very talented player. So look out for Forest. Forest is actually going to be my dog horse team for this season, and I'm going for them to come in 13th. I just hope they don't let me down. But, you look at what Steve Cooper did with this team. I think when he took charge of the team, they were in so much trouble, and he still managed to get them promoted. So I'm going on the strength of that. So coming in 12th, guys, is Wolverhampton Wanderers. They did pretty good last season. They finished in 10th under Bruno Lage in his first season, and they could have actually done a lot better, but they did not finish the season strongly at all. And I think with players like Adama and you have Raul Jimenez not being fit from the start of the season, players like Hwang Hee-chan, Pedro Neto, all these guys have been struggling with injury. I think Wolves are going to have a bit of a struggle this season and not do as well as they did last season. They might have a few good periods, but I think they're going to have more bad periods than those purple patches that we see they had last season, knocking off a couple top teams. So, look, Wolves are that team that, since they got promoted back to the Premier League, they've been doing well. A couple 7th place finish, Europa League participation, and they always a very, very, very competitive team. They haven't made a lot of signings. The window's still open, so that could change. I think they need a very, good striker to give Raul Jimenez a bit of competition because they've been struggling with goal scoring. So I'm going to go for Wolves to finish in 12th position. And coming in 11th, guys, it's Leicester City. And I know some of you guys might be like, you know what? I think Leicester might finish a little lower this season. But when you look around the Leicester City squad, even though they have not made any signings this season so far, and the only player new in the squad is Dennis Pratt coming back from loan, I think Leicester still do have enough quality in their team once they manage to hold on to the players that they have right now. You've been seeing Fofana linked to the move to Chelsea. You've been seeing James Maddison linked to the move out. But I think I read that he's going to sign a new contract or something like that. So, they might manage to hold on to those players. And you look at Yuri Tillemans. And just to double back on Fofana, Leicester does not want to sell. Chelsea's coming in with a big bid, £60 million, I think. They don't want it. You see what I'm saying? They want to hold on to their talent. But A big miss for Leicester, in my opinion, is Kasper Schmeichel. That one caught me. That one really, really caught me off guard, man. Wasn't expecting that. So the keepers that they have right now are Danny Ward and Daniel Iverson, and none of them are of the quality of Kasper Schmeichel, who was a leader within that squad. So I don't think Leicester are gonna do as well as they've done over the last few seasons. And you see, last season they fell off a bit. I think they did finish in ninth place, which was eighth, which was respectable after they struggled throughout the season. But I still think with guys like Jamie Vardy in the team, you have Kieran Dewsbury Hall, who came through last season, their breakout player, Harvey Barnes, Madison, Iheanacho, Patson Daka. They still have a lot of firepower in their team. You see what I'm saying? Wilfred Ndidi, James Justin. They have quality. They have quality, and I think that's what they could bank on. And with the transfer window still open, I think Leicester, not having spent any money at all, they could actually, have an advantage there to say, okay, all right, now we know what we want, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna get the players we need. So I'm gonna go for them to finish 11, a little lower than they did last season, but still a respectable finish for a team that was playing championship and lower league footballs a few seasons ago and wrote one of the most remarkable Premier League and football stories of all time when they won the title a few seasons ago. So 11th for Leicester. So the team that is going to come in 10th place, in my opinion, they actually played today and lost, and that's Crystal Palace under Patrick Vieira. They didn't look too bad today. They didn't look too bad, but Arsenal were just better. William Saliba, in I think which was his official Premier League debut for Arsenal, was a rock, man. I saw someone said on Twitter that Saliba is actually the defender that they thought Rafael Varane was. Yeah, Varane is the gift that keeps on giving, if you guys don't know. But this Crystal Palace team, I think, is a very, very gritty team, and it's a team that could give you a lot of trouble. But I just think today in that loss against Arsenal, they just couldn't penetrate that Arsenal defense. Ben White was a rock over at right back. Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko on debut, Gabriel Jesus. They give him a lot of trouble, man. But Crystal Palace, they're a team that would always be just about there around, they've had a couple 13 place finishes over the last few seasons. The last season they finished 12th. I just think they draw way too many games and they need to work on that. And we know Vieira is very, very positive thinking, and he goes out there and take the game to opposition teams. Will Zaha, Michael Olise, Eberiche Eze. I saw a youngster today. I think his name is Ebui or something like that. I can't pronounce his name very well, but that guy looked bright when he came off the bench, so they still have that quality in their team. Guehi and Anderson at the back, and they did bring in a goalkeeper to help out Guaita, but I think those two goalkeepers were actually injured, and therefore Guaita was in goal. And I think when the goalkeepers are fit again, I'm running a blank on the two signings right now, but I'll let you know the two goal. I know they signed some goalkeepers, and that's Sam Johnstone. They brought in Sam Johnstone, and I think he could be the number one goalkeeper ahead of 35-year-old Guaita. And Butland is actually still at the club as well, who we saw was getting rotated with Guaita last season. So the team still have a little bit of gelling to do. Not a very good preseason, I think. And they would take some time. They would really take some time and before they get going. So 10th this season for Crystal Palace, in my opinion. And guys, we are getting into the top 10. All right. So as of now, I'm not really going for any crazy, outlandish drop off by any one of the big teams. You know what I'm saying? Like a United to come in ninth, or a Liverpool 8th. I'm not going for any of that right now, as you guys could see. Or one of those teams to finish outside the top 10. I think it's pretty clear cut with who will finish in the top 10 and who would finish outside. So we're getting into the top 10 right now. But before we do, like to big up everybody for actually tuning in appreciate you guys' support, and I'm looking to actually do more and more of this type of content this season. You know what I'm saying? I've been overthinking a lot, and that's why I haven't been, doing more stuff like this. But I think you just have to just get it done and not try to be perfect, man. But I, appreciate everybody in here right about now and appreciate your support. Guys, drop your predictions in the chat if you're watching the replay. Please feel free to do so as well. We're doing well. We're doing well. And we're going to get into the last half of the table, the top 10. And 10th, Crystal Palace coming in ninth. In my opinion, this season, I think it's going to be Aston Villa. So Stevie G's Aston Villa, they've, improved their defense with the signing of Diego Carlos. I think that's a very, very, very good signing. And I think, the Aston Villa team is one of the most stacked up teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? And they would just keep improving. And I think when Steven Gerrard came in, he actually improved the team. Dean Smith had some good periods, but he fell away a bit. And I think Gerrard came in as a fairly rather inexperienced manager and got the job done. So, look, along with Diego Carlos, I like the signing of Boubacar Kamara in the midfield. They got him for free. Philip Coutinho, as you know, was brought in last season. And they just very, very stacked up top with Ollie Watkins, who we know is very prolific. Danny Ings could be a menace on his day. Guys like Leon Bailey, Emi Buendia. That's a lot of talent. And the player that I chose to keep an eye on this season once again is Jacob Ramsey. So, look, quality galore in this Aston Villa team. And I'll be disappointed if they do not get a top 10 finish because they've invested heavily in this team and they're always looking to improve it as, seasons go on. And I think, with players like Matt Cash, Luca Dean, that's quality. That's a lot of quality in their team. They just need to weed out those defensive errors, those mistakes. Tyrone Mings comes to mind. And when you look back at the final match day last season, when Aston Villa were 2-0 up against City, with Liverpool on the cusp of snatching away the title from Man City, it was defensive errors that allowed City to come back from 2-0 down to win the game 3-2. So I think once they work on those weaknesses, they'll be okay. And don't forget, quality goalkeeper and Emi Martinez in goal there. So 9th place to Aston Villa, in my opinion. So, guys, we're going to go to the 8th place position. And I think this team would just miss out on the Europa Conference League. And that team, I think, is West Ham United. They just signed Maxwell Cornet. They brought in Gianluca Scamacca from the Italian league. And they brought in Naif Aguerd as well. But I still think, maybe West Ham could do with 1 or 2 more signings because when you're going to take part in European football, you have the Carabao Cup, you have the FA Cup, the squad is going to get stretched. And we saw what happened last season with West Ham. Their defense was stretched very, very thin towards the back end of the season. And it potentially cost them a Europa League or even a Champions League spot. So, look, David Moyes, I think, overachieved last season. And I think this season he's going to have another stellar season. Could even finish higher than 8th, but I'm just going to go for them to finish 8th. Look, Jared Bowen, he had a massive, massive season last year and expect him to do well again. And just, expect West Ham to continue giving the bigger teams, the big 6 teams, a whole lot of headache. Ask Liverpool if you don't believe me. Ask Manchester City. Ask the Uniteds, the Arsenal, or ask these teams how good this West Ham United team is and have become. So I'm going to go for the Hammers, the Irons, to finish in 8th position. Guys, we're going to get into the Conference League spot. And this one is very, very interesting. And I think it's a very, very bold call on my behalf. It took a lot of guts to actually go for this one. And that team that I'm going to go for to finish in the Conference League spot, that team is the Newcastle United. I think with all the money invested, they got to get at least a Conference League spot. You see what I'm saying? If they don't get a Conference League spot or higher, I think it's a project. It takes time, but they've invested heavily in this project already. A lot of players brought in, and I like the signing of Nick Pope. That's a quality goalkeeper right there. Sven Botman, highly rated Dutch centre back, being linked to a lot of big clubs, Liverpool to be exact, and Newcastle got his signature. You remember last season, the signing of guys like Kieran Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes. It just propelled them from the relegation zone all the way up to, I think they finished in 11th position, 49 points. How, listen, no pun intended, but how Eddie Howe did that, I don't know. It's still a mystery to me. It is still a mystery to me how he pulled that off. So they're looking to revamp this squad. They've let go a lot of the deadwood players already, and they've brought in some lively players in the team. And with a mixture of these players, along with some of the quality that was already in the team, I think Newcastle are going to soar to higher heights this season. Look out for Callum Wilson. Once he's fit, Alan St-Maxima will provide you with that razzle dazzle. And you know what I mean, they just have a lot of quality in their setup. Joe Willock, he had a good loan stint permanently. Haven't done that great, but who knows? This could be his season, man. But still a lot of weeding out to do, in my opinion. They still have a lot of players that I think they could get rid of, but it will definitely take time to do that. So Eddie Howe and his boys to finish in 7th. The new Newcastle United. Guys, stick around. Wait up. Tell a friend, guys. Look, the top six. The top six is the most crucial, some of the most crucial predictions I'm going to make this season. And you guys, I'm telling you, you're in for a surprise. Remember, I'm a Man City fan. I'm going to be try to be as unbiased as possible here when it comes to these predictions, right? And coming in 6th, in my opinion, it's going to be Manchester United, the Red Devils. And the reason why I'm going for United to come in 6th once again like they did last season, it's the transition. Ten Hag in a new league. I know he's, made some good signings, and he's kept a few players in the squad. A lot of players moved on as well. You think guys like Juan Mata, you think Jesse Lingard, you think Paul Pogba. You see, and these you think Nemanja Matic. These guys have moved on from Manchester United, and players brought in like Terrell Malacia. You have Lisandro Martinez. Money spent. You see what I'm saying? Money was spent to bring these players in the club. They're looking to do some big things this season. They're looking to do some big things going forward. Christian Eriksen, I think, would be, play a pivotal role in this team this season. There's still quality in guys like Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Elanga with his breakout season. But the thing is, there's going to be a lot of mixture of youth and experience and players, that's been in the setup. And, Ronaldo, is he going to be with the team this season? He have a role to play, but it's a different setup, a different manager, the third manager that he's going to be working under. So with all these dynamics, I don't think they're going to challenge for the title. They may challenge for a Champions League spot, but will just miss out, in my opinion. But it's an exciting prospect when you look at their squad, when you look at the youngsters that could potentially explode, an Amad Traore Diallo, a player like Facundo Pellistri. You think Jadon Sancho didn't have a good season last season. Is this his year? Hannibal Mejbri. You see what I'm saying? Danny Van de Beek could finally spread his wings. So it's going to be interesting to see what United does this season. But look, United have not been very good for a long time. And they've now developed a reputation for imploding at any given time, at unexpected times. And it's just been, we say they play at the theater of dreams, but it's just been a theater of nightmares, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be another mediocre season for Manchester United. But still, it's very interesting to see what they're going to do. So I'm going for them to come in 6th. They're my rivals, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think they're going to place higher than that. If they do, I think Ten Hag would have done a damn good job. So look, not to mention, special mention to David De Gea. He's still there. He's the one that's been, helping Man United finish in respectable places over the last few years. Because when you have Harry Maguire and Varane doing pure nonsense at the back, look, what do you expect to happen? Sixth place, in my opinion. And coming in fifth, guys, coming in fifth. This one is a very tricky one. And for some reason, I actually thought I put another team fifth. But the team that I have coming in fifth, and I was saying to myself today, damn, I think I have to change it. I think I have to change. I think I have to switch these two teams. But I didn't need to because I already put them down at fifth. And I know I might get some hate, some backlash for this one. But I'm actually going to go for Chelsea to finish fifth this season. I'm going to go for Chelsea. They finished third last year. They were leading the league for some time and then drop off and finish 18 points behind Liverpool, 19 points behind City. And as Champions League winners, I think that was a poor follow-up season by Thomas Tuchel and his boys. And they've been revamping their squad. Players like Raheem Sterling brought in, Kalidou Koulibaly brought in, Carney Chukwuemeka just signed. They managed to hold on to the likes of Aspilicueta as well. And it could still be a few movements, players like Hakim Ziyech linked to the move out the club. And the thing about this Chelsea team, in my opinion, I still don't think that Thomas Tuchel knows his best 11. He doesn't. You see what I'm saying? Thiago Silva is still at the club. Ben Chilwell is still at the club. But then you go and you bring in Marc Cucurella. You see what I'm saying? So that just shows me there's going to be a lot of indecision this season. Okay, do I play Cucurella? Do I play Ben Chilwell? Emerson and Marcos Alonso are back at the club as well. So those players might be, sold or loaned out again. I don't know what's going to happen. It has not happened yet. But you see where I'm getting at. You see where exactly I'm getting at. N'Golo Kante is not the same player that he was a few seasons ago. Conor Gallagher and Armando Broja is being kept at the club, so which means that they're going to be given opportunities. And who knows, they might not fit into the setup, if you understand what I'm saying. Lukaku left, which means that there's not an out-and-out striker where Timo Werner has not really provided that, prolificness up top for Chelsea, and he's been linked to the move outside the club. Michy Batshuayi came back. He might be moving on as well. Christian Pulisic and Hudson Odoi and all these guys are crying for game time. So you see, I think with Chelsea, they're going to have some problems again this season. And fifth place, in my opinion. Fifth place. And if you look back at what happened last season, they just went through some bad patches, man, where you see a Thomas Tuchel team was built on being defensively sound. That went out of the window. Fifth for Chelsea, Europa League, in my opinion. Sounds a bit harsh, but I might just be right. Special mention to players like Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, gonna look to have a big season. Kovacic, you know what I mean? Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Reece James, man. Big up to Reece James, future Manchester City right back as well. Just had to throw that one in there. But guys, that is my top six. That is my fifth and sixth. Now I go into the third and fourth positions. The top four, guys. The top four. And I haven't given you guys Arsenal yet. I haven't given you guys Tottenham. No Man City and no Liverpool. So I think these are the teams that are going to be in the Champions League places come the end of the season next year. Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, and Manchester City. And I said it in that order because I don't want you to think that's the position I think they're going to finish or whatever. So coming in fourth, in my opinion, guys, I think it's going to be Arsenal. We've seen a glimpse of what they're going to offer this season. And for some reason, I thought that I had them fifth on the list, but I had them fourth, and they were damn good today. Defensively, they were very, very good. And if Arsenal could just be consistent. Remember last year, they started August without a win, without a goal, without a point, and they've started on the right foot this season. Arteta looks like a man who means business this year. Not that he didn't mean business before, he won an FA Cup and all, but I just have a feeling this Arsenal team is, has more hunger, and we saw that on display. They have a lot of quality in their team, in their setup, and I think Arteta knows his best 11. I think he knows exactly what he's going to do this season. The signings of Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus already looks like, really, really good signings. You see what Zinchenko and Jesus did today. Zinchenko involved in the opening goal there scored by Martinelli. You see what I'm saying? Odegaard, new club captain. Thomas Partey, I've seen him, in the news. He got in a little trouble, but he's there. Granit Xhaka, the hothead. You know what I'm saying? You need that mercurial figure around, so the element of surprise is still there. But it's their defense, though. Ben White, who played right back, he's very versatile, could play defensive midfield all across the back line. That's gonna produce good. That's gonna give good competition within the team with Tomiyasu at right back as well, and over at left back Zinchenko and Tierney. You see what I'm saying? So Arsenal do have the quality in their team and the depth, and I think that's where their strength would come from. But they just need to keep their heads on and don't get carried away. One game at a time. You defeated Crystal Palace, then you have to go into the next game thinking, okay, we could win this one too. You see what I'm saying? And that's against Leicester City. A Leicester City that could start off the season very, very slowly. Then they got a Bournemouth, a Fulham, an Aston Villa. Arsenal could start the season off very, very hot. But they have to keep that momentum going. They have to, just stay in the race for those Champions League spots and give themselves a bit of distance between the Chelseas and the Manchester Uniteds, the Newcastles, the West Hams. They can't slip up against the teams that they're supposed to beat. And Arsenal will be playing Champions League football again and hopefully try to avoid a Bayern Munich. So I'm going for fourth for the Gunners. Look, I know Arsenal fans will not appreciate this, but I'm going for Tottenham to finish ahead of them. And I'm going for Spurs to finish in third place. Tottenham, are they going to win a trophy this season? They could. A Carabao Cup, an FA Cup maybe. Who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? But they're looking good. I really like the signings that Tottenham made. Antonio Conte is a man who means business. He means business. You see what I mean? He's been around for a while, managed at top Italian clubs, and managed at Chelsea, came in one season, bam, won the title, left the next season, but still, he knows the league. You know what I mean? And he's already achieved success in the league. And when he came in last season, he's the one who actually helped Spurs finish above the likes of Arsenal and United to get that Champions League spot. And when you look at their squad and the players that they've signed, it just shows that this team is just going for the kill. You talk about Richarlison, Perisic. You see what I'm saying? Kulusevski brought in during the winter, and you saw how he hit the ground running, and that's to go with the prolific Kane and Son. If they manage to keep, I doubt players like Lo Celso will be moved on maybe to Villarreal. Brian Hill might go out on loan. But, there's still a lot of quality in their team, man. I would like to see Pape Matar get a run, but he might actually be loaned out once again. But look, Rodrigo Bentancur, saw how he hit the ground running. Yves Bissouma brought in. So Conte's looked at the squad and said, okay, players like Harry Winks may not be doing it for me. You know what I mean? Let me bring in a tougher figure like an Yves Bissouma. But Hybier has done a really, really good job in the midfield there for Spurs as well. So let's not forget the great work that he's done. But I just like what Conte, has done since he took over at Tottenham Hotspur, man. Romero, that signing. You see what I'm saying? Hugo Lloris, ever present at the back, his leadership. I think the only question for me may be in defense. Come on. We almost got through, guys. We almost got through. We almost got through before the boy woke up, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm on daddy duties, well, in the afternoons. But look, Spurs. I think we got to take Spurs very, very, very serious this season. Very, very, very serious. You know what I'm saying? Even players like Eric Dyer have improved under Antonio Conte, and they brought in Clement Longley, who I don't rate too highly, but still, you know what I mean. He still give you that option as well, where Spurs will be in the Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, the Premier League. You'll need the bodies. You'll definitely need the bodies. So I'm going for Spurs to finish third, and that I think is a very, very, very respectable finish in my opinion. Because if we just look at what Spurs have done in the recent seasons, right? If we just go back on what they did in the recent seasons, fourth last season, seventh the season before, sixth, fourth, third the season before, and that second place season in the 16th 17th season where they came very, very close to winning a title there. So they've always been very, very, very consistent. If you look back at the league standings, very, very consistent since like 09-10. So let's give them some respect, even though they don't go on to win any trophies, though. But this season could be something very, very, very different. So look, guys, it brings us to the last two. But before I get into the last two, big up to everybody in the stream right about now, man. We got two teams left, and it's the usual suspects. Usual suspects. And I think this would be a lot of content creators and football fans top two: Liverpool and Manchester City. So look, before I actually let you guys know who I think's gonna win the title, I want to see what you guys have to say in the chat right about now. Big up to everybody, man, watching once again. Appreciate you. Guys, let me know who you think's gonna actually go on to win the title. I could put up a poll, but I'm not gonna run and do that right about now. If you're watching the replay, let me know who you think's gonna win the title as well. And in the chat, let me know who you think's gonna win the title. So look, we have Liverpool, we have Manchester City. And these have been the two best teams over the last, 5 seasons? Where City, you could say, have been dominating since when? Since about the last 10 years. They've been up there in the last 10 years, title after title after title. And Liverpool have been throwing their hat in the mix as well. So, look, if you look at Man City, right, and their recent finishes, Man City did the back to back. Last season, champion. The previous season, champion. The previous season, they finished second behind Liverpool, right? Who just ran away with the league, ran riot on the league. And that was actually after they came in second by 1 point. So you see there's a pattern here. But Man City, 18-19 champions, 17-18 champions. So that's what? 4 titles and a second place finish within the last 5 seasons. You go back before that: third, fourth, second, first, third. You see what I'm saying? Fifth. And then we go to the pre-takeover period there, right? Where those are some of the darker days, if you understand what I'm saying. But after, the takeover, City have been doing big things. You see what I mean? And teams like Newcastle will be hoping that they follow suit in with that kind of success. But and I had to mention Newcastle there because people like to say, "Oh yeah, Man City, the takeover." Yeah, there's other teams being taken over as well. So look, City have been very, very good, but have not yet managed to do the three-peat. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's where there's a little bit of pressure. There's pressure there. There's definitely pressure there, right? If you go to Liverpool, they've been doing very, very well under Jurgen Klopp. I have to say, very, very well. Last season, finishing second, just one single point behind City. I think that's a hard pill to swallow, man. That is a very, very hard pill to swallow, guys. I have to say, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'll feel very aggrieved to finish 1 point behind a Man City twice within the last 5 seasons. You see what I mean? So second, third, first, second, fourth, and eighth. That's what the finishes look like on the Jurgen Klopp. And you go back to the second place finish on the Brendan Rodgers back in the 13-14 season as well. And you could go back to 08-09, the second place on the Rafa Benitez. So Liverpool have always flirted, with success. We know that Champions League success as well. But the Premier League has just been so elusive to the Reds. Very, very elusive, man. They could be so damn good, so impressive, but still not win the title. And last season must have been a very, very difficult season for Liverpool fans. Winning the Carabao Cup, doing the Cup double with the FA Cup as well, and going to the Champions League final and coming in second, and then coming in second in the league. And those happened within a week. That must have been very, very, very difficult to handle and to deal with. But this season, from what I've seen so far, Liverpool, they mean business. The team have not dropped off one bit. Preseason, I seen what Liverpool are trying to do. A lot of preseason game, a lot of preparation, a lot of experimentation, looking to see, Klopp knows his best 11, but if you look at the recruitment, Luis Diaz, pace, skill, ability. You look at Darwin Nunez, determination, the pace, the skill. You see what I'm saying? Salah is still there, an improved contract. He means business more than ever. Mane left, but with the addition of Darwin Nunez, to be honest, I don't think we'll see much of a difference. Believe me, I know Mane is a special player, but so is Darwin Nunez. He's a very, very special player. And people could laugh at the trading video all they want. At Benfica, I saw a player who is very, very determined and never ever say die kind of attitude. So I think these are going to be the two teams vying for the title once again. Liverpool and Manchester City. You go over to City, transitioning as well. Quietly transitioning. You look at Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, Grealish last season, the signing of Calvin Phillips, the departure of players like recently, like David Silva, Fernandinho, the old guard is being changed, company. You see in the transition, Ruben Diaz coming in, Cancelo, these guys are taking charge. But, Raheem Sterling moved on, Zinchenko moved on, Bernardo could go. You see what I mean? But there's still a lot of quality in the team. But as a City fan, one thing that worries me is the transition. The transition does worry me. Whether we're going to transition smoothly to a system that involves Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden is going to be involved. Cole Palmer is going to be involved. Rodri, heavily involved. Gundogan as well. And it kind of worries me a bit with the whole Kevin De Bruyne situation, the workload on Kevin De Bruyne, because he cannot bear the load all by himself. And whenever Pep tries to manage that workload, you see we struggle. Look at the Real Madrid semi-final. Look at the Carabao Cup, not the Carabao Cup, but the Community Shield when De Bruyne was taken off and we didn't have any answers to get back in that game, really. You see what I mean? So I have a bit of a problem with that, even though I think the team is still very, very good and good enough to go on to win the 3-peat, 3 in a row. I'm kind of skeptical. Believe it or not, I'm kind of skeptical. And I don't want to be delusional. I want to be as realistic as possible. So with that being said, I'm going to go for Man City to come in second this season. I'm going to keep it 100. City to come in second. And I could say this very, very easily because I rather go in with my expectations being realistic and say second. And if we do hit the title, hey, whoa, wasn't expecting that. And it's gonna be the same feeling with the Champions League as well. I am not feeling confident with that either. You see what I'm saying? I'm not giving up, but it's just that I'm not gonna get my hopes up high and then, be deflated when we get knocked out in the final minute. You see? So I'm going to go for City to come in second. And if we see a pattern, they say history do repeat itself. Last time Liverpool finished 1 point behind Man City, 97 points. What happened the next season? They run riot. They were rampant. They ended up winning the league in October. I know the coronavirus came in and kind of disrupted things, but Liverpool had already won the league. You see what I'm saying? So this season, the champions, in my opinion, I say it's going to be Liverpool. It's going to be Liverpool. They themselves have transitioned as well, moving on a few players. A Divock Origi, a Sadio Mane. And they've recruited well. And the team does not look like slowing down. Fabio Cavallo coming in the middle, I think he could be very useful along with a Harvey Elliott if these guys get the opportunity to strut their stuff. Defensively, very sound. Alisson at the back, along with Van Dijk, Konate, Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who scored in the Community Shield, Robertson. A midfield that's more robust than creative, but still, they manage to get the job done. They do manage to get the job done. And it's a team that I watch all their games, and it's a team that I know very, very well. 2-1 down, they find a way to come back and win it 3-2. 1-0 down, they find a way to come back and win it 2-1. 1-1 going into the dying embers of the game, they find a way to get that goal and win the match. It's one of the teams that Man City failed to beat last season. The last 4 times we played Liverpool, we didn't beat them. You see what I'm saying? Just think about it. Think about it, and they beat us twice. So the key to Liverpool actually winning this title, beat Man City during the league. The league, those 2 matches, you have to at least beat City once and not lose the other one. You go on to win the title. Or just blow everybody out the park. Blow everybody out the park, because I could see once again that there's going to be a few hiccups for Man City this season. We struggle against specific teams. The specificity of the struggle. A Crystal Palace, a team like Southampton, a Tottenham, these teams could give us problems. But that's my prediction, man. Liverpool and Man City, first and second. Tottenham, third. Arsenal, fourth. Chelsea, fifth. United, sixth. Newcastle, seventh. The Conference League, eighth. West Ham, ninth. Aston Villa, 10th. Crystal Palace, 11th. Leicester City, 12th. Wolves, 13th. My surprise pick, Nottingham Forest. 14th. Everton. 15th. Brighton. 16th. Leeds. 17th. Fulham. 18th. Southampton to get relegated, in my opinion. Brentford going down again in 19th. And Bournemouth back in the championship at 20th. These are my predictions. And I have not made other predictions like Golden Boot and Golden Glove, but it will be the usual suspects, in my opinion. Golden Gloves, you see Alisson and Edison always vying for that. Maybe another goalkeeper could throw their gloves in the hat. You have strikers, man. Harry Kane, Mo Salah, Son, Darwin Núñez, Haaland. These guys are gonna vie for the golden boot. Who knows? Maybe another player might go in there. Callum Wilson. Who knows, man? Who knows what'll happen? Who knows? Let's see. Cristiano Ronaldo. Who knows? Gabriel Jesus. Who knows, man? But this season is gonna be another spectacular one, and I am looking forward to every single minute of it. We're gonna have games early in the morning. Well, for some of you guys, it's already morning. Liverpool take on Fulham. We have City coming up against West Ham on Sunday. Brighton taking on United. Everton, Chelsea. Guys, man, it's going to be an action-packed weekend. And I'm going to be back with the heat every single week for your head tops, okay? Rain, sunshine, snow, sleet, earthquake, thunderstorm, you name it. A flood, I'll be back with more content, okay? You could trust that. I've had 2 months break, So I had a lot of rest to hit you with this fire. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed, man. I don't want to draw it on too longer. An hour. That's sweet. And I hope you really enjoy that. Let me know your predictions in the chat. Let me know your predictions in the comments if you're watching the replay as well. And this was fun. I have to do more and more tail lists as the season progresses. All right. So, guys, I'm on daddy duty right about now. And I haven't got any. I did get a little rest, so I'm gonna enjoy a bit of leisure time right about now while my son sleeps. Okay, so appreciate everybody who continue to show support on this channel. Like the video if you haven't yet done so. Subscribe if you're new. And from your boy Dominic Rich. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.